everybody, and welcome to the Positively Disney Phone-In Show. And we are doing a Star Wars edition tonight because, well, I just can't help myself. Want to welcome my Twitch followers, my Facebook folks, and a special thank you to my sponsor, Michelle McKeown, over at Ears of Experience. You can reach her at 732-735-1779 or MMCKEOWN at themostexperts.com. Well, she will make your reality happen with a Disney vacation, and you can even have text access to her in the park. She specializes with military families and special needs families and offers concierge service. So that's Michelle McKeown, folks. Well, guys, I can't get over not only this past weekend, but the last couple of months. And I just had to share with you tonight some of the things that have been happening behind the scenes. I am wearing my winter parka. Yes, because we are, well, it feels like Hoth, which if anybody doesn't know is the sixth planet in the Hoth system. And it was the Rebel Alliance base in Empire Strikes Back. Because we lost heat Saturday night, had a part come in Sunday, was the wrong part, still without heat. The new part is going to come in tomorrow because nobody could fix our furnace. And it's really cold in my podcast room. So I'm just going to keep extra warm tonight, wearing my boots, my parka, and my sidekick is wearing his parka as well. Want to say hello to Tisha, Gina, and of course my husband Jacques, who joined me tonight. So I have to say, I'm not an expert by any means in Star Wars. There are so many folks out there that I have spoken with that really are. So if I'm saying something that doesn't sound quite right, correct me. Please call in with a short Star Wars experience or story if you would like to share. 844-483-4763. You know, something that everybody usually remembers is their very first of a variety of things. The very first Star Wars movie I will never forget, when I was invited to my friend's birthday party in middle school. And I, quite frankly, I mean, we didn't have all the, the news about Star Wars in my neck of the woods up in Canada because, well, we just didn't have the whole shebang out there to tell us about what Star Wars is about. Sure, there's a couple posters, but it's kind of foreign to us. So I'll never forget thinking, I'm not sure about this movie, but of course it was part of the birthday party. So went, and honestly, I will never forget that because I did see the original in the theater the year that 1977 when it came out. And it actually, I got to see it May 25th when it was released because that was her birthday. Bev Crato, wherever you are, thank you for taking us all on your birthday party to the movie. As most people, I'm sure, that saw the original probably just came out of that theater not really knowing what they had experienced, but you knew that it was something quite fabulous. And I actually just rewatched in order the 6 episodes in a row from episode 1 to 6, and I didn't add the others because I just kind of wanted to review it in the continuity. And something that I found that I want to share with you guys, which was so fun. Oh, welcome, Stan. Hi, Stan. Is I actually found my original boxed trilogy of Star Wars. Isn't that great? Like, this is like the original, guys. And I did not wear it out, as many of you guys I know have worn your VHSs out, but I just really love it. And I was really tickled that I actually found it because I've moved several times, in my life. And this definitely followed us wherever we went, but it was just really fun. I don't know if you guys have your movies yet. Stan says, honestly, I would add Rogue One to the 6 now. I have to agree with you, Stan. And actually, I'm hoping that I have time to watch that tonight because I really just have fallen in love again with the whole movies and Star Wars community. And I hope I don't tear up, because I will tell you why this has really affected me. Just to say hello to Todd. Oh yeah, my husband wanted to let everybody know that actually that's his VHS set, but we're not gonna really. I mean, what's his is mine, and you know how that goes. But anyways, I just want to share with you that I've been interviewing like crazy and writing like crazy. And I will tell you that this book is going to be just blowing everybody away, because I'm interviewing it, and the folks that are in there, some of the actors and Lucasfilm folks, and you guys, the fans, it has me just unbelievably overwhelmed with emotion. As a matter of fact, as the author of the Positively Disney book series, I will cry sometimes when I'm writing a story, but never have I cried during an interview until Star Wars. So it's absolutely I just can't wait for it to come out this summer. And I will tell you more details about it as I get closer to the release date. So again, hi George, welcome to the show. Tisha, hang on for that. Tisha was wondering if she should call in. Tisha actually is in the book, and it was really a pleasure interviewing her. But Tisha, you can tell about your Mark Hamill. Tisha actually has met Mark Hamill, which is really, really cool. I really like him as a human being. I'm hoping that I will be able to meet him sometime. He's just such a very humble human being. And, just hearing some of the stories of the people that have been in touch with these actors has just been so rewarding. It's indescribable, the connections that everybody seems to know everybody in this community. It's so wild. And something that we've got coming up in, let's see, I think it starts March 14th. We have the Emerald City Comic-Con, and there are a few Star Wars actors going to be there. I'm going to be there as well for 1 or 2 days. I'm not too sure, but really excited about that. It's kind of my first Comic-Con, and I know people are probably thinking, why wouldn't I have been to others? But really, it's my first. And something that happened that was outrageous, and I don't know. Sometimes I just shake my head about what I do last minute. But was a mini Comic-Con here, like about 40 minutes from me in a small city, and I found out about it just like Friday afternoon. So I emailed the woman and I said, if you have a spot or whatever, just let me know. Well, I was watching Star Wars that night, and found out at midnight that she'd emailed me at 10:30 at night that there was a spot for me to come to be a vendor. So I worked until like 1 o'clock, gathering my stuff out the door by 8. And it was an incredible experience. I mean, there's lots of different folks out there, but the 501st, the Lucasfilm sanctioned charity, all those guys were there. They were just really, really fun. I actually ended up getting a little bit of a photo op with Darth Vader, wee bit, and some of the stormtroopers, but just really love those guys. And I have to tell you that I don't know if you know about this, but Walt Disney has a particular number that belongs to him, or he references and means something to him. And that number is number 13. He got married March 13th. His table at the Tam O'Shanter restaurant is 13. And, I ended up at the only table that had opened up, table 13. So I just really felt like Walt was kind of pushing me where I was supposed to be. Stan says, I can't wait for Star Wars Celebration Chicago. Stan, you are obviously going, aren't you? I really wish that I would have prepared to be able to go. I think it would have been phenomenal. David, welcome to the show. I am a member of the 501st in Ohio and got to meet several of the actors, and they are all great. Oh, David, I just love the 501st. I have a few friends in the 501st, and I just really, really love what you guys are doing. I actually chatted with the woman behind making the connection with Albin, your fearless founder, and Lucasfilm to make that connection so that 501st could happen. And I'm so grateful that she was so passionate about the idea behind the 501st. And there's so many of you guys out there that I'm getting to meet. Actually, one of the people at this Comic-Con, he was kind of new. He was a member of the 501st in California, and he, I think he has Darth in his repertoire of costumes, which I thought was really cool. And he's transferring it into the Seattle Garrison. But absolutely, I'm telling you, love this Star Wars community. And oh, David, yes, it was. Yes, Mary, it is. Yes, yes, yes. Love her. She has got an amazing story, and she's actually going to be in the book. So yeah, she's pretty phenomenal, Mary Franklin. You know, it's something that I mean, she knew Albin, and as I said, kind of was part of putting this all together. But some of you, I'm not sure if you remember the pink droid in The Force Awakens. It looked like a little R2D2, and it's actually called R2KT. And I know that several of you know about that little pink droid and how precious that droid is. And David Filoni, who is an animator with Lucasfilm, he was one of the people instrumental in making sure that that droid was in the Clone Force Awakens because of its significance regarding a little girl named Katie. And Stan says yes, he knows of her very well, and I don't want to spoil it or anything because it's a really, really touching story of Albin's that will be in the book also. Um, I just wanted to say that something that really, really impressed upon me is how Lucasfilm values their fans. Every single person that I've spoken with, be it creative talent, be it Lucasfilm folks, be it the fans, everybody has had these amazing experiences and really, for lack of a better word, warm fuzzies over the whole Star Wars community. And that's why I have fallen in love with it, because Lucasfilm has that just really values their fans. And George, I believe, has been, I think, surprised and welcomes and feels very warm regarding, the different props and the different costumes and the different things that are made in the name of Star Wars. Because I mean, here was a guy, he was a filmmaker. He wasn't known. He went before he started Star Wars. He went to about, I think he went to like 3 or 4 different pitch meetings to pitch his idea of the movie, and finally he got a yes. And I'm so glad. So guys out there, if you're trying to do something, you're trying to chase your dream, don't get discouraged at that no. Don't get discouraged at the second one or the third one or the fourth one, because if you believe in what you're doing, it will happen. And George is such it's just the epitome of continuing to push and work at his passion. And I'm so grateful for that human being who I've never met him before, but I do know people that know him. And he's just absolutely wonderful and gives back to the community so much. And Tisha was just mentioning that she loved the movie Fanboys. It shows so much love for the movies. I will have to check that out, actually, Tisha. I've not seen some of those fandom movies. I don't know if you guys can tell me some of the names of some of the fan movies, because he really, really enjoyed those fan movies that were made in the name of Star Wars as well. I want to say welcome and hi to Justin, Mike, and Michelle, who have also joined us. Again, if you guys want to share something with me, just give me a call, 844-483-4763. So I'm going to share something else that happened this weekend, because you never really know who you're going to run into. So I had this really tall robed figure come to my table with his lightsaber and with a mask on, and his daughter was there as well. And I'm not going to tell you his name or anything, but I was telling him about the book series, and I was admiring these lightsabers. He actually made these really cool lightsabers, like really cool. And I think that we are going to work on a lightsaber that is similar to the one that I have put on the front of my book cover. Now, it's not a lightsaber that you would have seen in any of the movies. I'm not sure if it'll be in episode 9, because I haven't seen any trailers or anything like that. But it is a different color. And yeah, I found out that he's actually part of the Walt Disney Company. And it was really a thrill to chat with him a little bit. And he's been very gracious in emailing me back about what I want in a lightsaber. And the funny thing is the lightsaber on the book, you guys would probably have seen it in the sort of the little ad about today's show. I'm going to have a contest for people to guess whose handle on the lightsaber that belongs to. But what was funny is when he emailed me, he's like, rattled it off right away. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy really knows his lightsaber. So anyways, I told him to just keep it hush, because I want to have this contest. David says the same thing happened with the toy companies. He went to several companies and got turned down. Then he went to a small company in my hometown of Cincinnati called Kenner. Oh my gosh, David, I didn't realize that. Yeah, like it's quite astounding to find out that, even George Lucas got turned down. I mean, well, we know Walt Disney got turned down, but George Lucas and his desire, I mean, those toy companies, I'm sure, are kicking themselves now after what happened. Justin says, I agree to David, members of Western Pennsylvania's 501st and on Rebel Legion. Well, oh, Justin, nice to see that you're a member of the 501st as well. Thank you so much for everything you guys do. I really, I found out about you guys, believe it or not, when I was interviewing for the third Positively Disney series, and it's the romance edition. I thought there's so many things to do with romance and Disney, be it courting or engagements or vow renewals or weddings or whatever. And it was actually at a wedding that this woman hired or invited, hired, whatever, some of the 501st. And it was so cool because she had all of her wedding party and her wedding guests. And excuse me, it's cold. I don't know about you guys, but when I get cold, my nose starts to run a bit. But anyways, she had them all line up for the photographer to take a photo. Meanwhile, while the guy's taking a photo, there was Boba Fett was there. Several of the, I think Darth got sick, so Darth couldn't make it. Several of the stormtroopers, and I think a Jedi, they snuck in behind the scenes, and the photographer said, "Oh, let's turn around, and I'd like to take a photo of you guys, from behind." And that's how they all saw each other, and it was so fun because the 501st were just awesome. They were pretending to cut the cake with their guns, and they would take the lightsabers and just do all kinds of fun things. There was one she showed of one of the stormtroopers holding a bouquet. So when I took a selfie with Darth, because honestly, I don't know about you guys, but when Darth won't break character in the 501st while he's out and about, and he was walking by the stormtroopers. I wanted a photo so bad because I've never had a photo with Darth Vader before, so I just kind of ran around the aisle and got a selfie with him, and it was so funny. That's the photo you see that I put up, and there's the stormtrooper making the peace sign in the back, photobombing it. I just loved it. It was so fun. Oh, Stan is giving me a hard time because you really should have paid that heating bill. Stan, it was paid. The darn thing broke down. Welcome to Darlene. Just want to say hello. And anybody wanting to call in again, 844-483-4763. I do want to tell you that in one of the stories, I can't wait, is about some of the Star Wars characters. This was about, I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago now, visiting the White House for Halloween, and what happened in the elevator with President Obama and some of the stormtroopers is really kind of fun too. I can't wait. Anyways, I will take my first call. Hello, welcome to the show. Oh my gosh, Darlene, you've got a voice. I always see you with your dogs on Facebook.
And I got a spare one tonight. I've got my grandpuppy I'm watching because my daughter and son-in-law are on a Disney cruise on the Disney Dream right now. They sailed out today.
Oh, nice. Oh my gosh. So, well, I'm so glad you could call in. Do you have a little Star Wars tidbit or little Disney story for us?
Oh my goodness. I love Star Wars. My husband loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
I actually got to go see Star Wars. It's a great memory. When Star Wars was first released, my father took me to go and see it. I was an only child. I was a daughter.
Okay.
And my father really wanted to see Star Wars.
Yeah.
He took me, so a lot of my friends are like, "You're going to see Star Wars?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I am." That's all it took. I love it, and my husband loves it. And we were just there, and we had our pictures taken with Chewbacca.
Oh, I love Chewie. I love him.
So soft and cuddly.
I know. He gives the best hugs, doesn't he? Like, seriously. Yeah.
Oh, yes, he does. And then Kylo Ren, oh my goodness gracious, he's scary.
Yeah.
Oh, he is very scary.
I know. He does it well.
He does. We also got our picture with R2, or BB-8. I wanted to say R2-D2. I never had my picture with R2-D2. I would love that.
Oh, wouldn't that be cool? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did. You know what? I have never had my photo taken with BB-8 before. I'm going to have to check that out next time I'm in Walt Disney World or Disneyland or wherever, because I would really like that. Just another one to add. Oh my gosh. Have you cruised Disney at Star Wars at sea at all? Have you? I'm not sure.
No, I haven't. I would have loved to have done that.
Yeah.
My daughter's done the Marvel one, and I believe this cruise that she's on might be a Marvel as well. And I guess she had seen somewhere that they might be playing the new Captain movie. So I'm like, ooh,
wow.
Don't tell me about it, because I really want to. I have to go and see it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that good for them. That's so awesome. Stan Solo, Stan, I think I'm just sort of reading. I think he did a Star Wars at sea. That would be so cool. I know it's only one day, but I'm telling you, I'd be there like in a heartbeat, because, it's often hard to get, it depends on, I guess, what time of year you're going to go for a photo with them, but, it'd just be really an optimal time to be able to get photos with the characters, right?
Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, that would be the most opportune time. We went when we did we did a New York cruise to Puerto Rico. It was our end. We did what was the other two? Tortola and St. Martin. And it was not easy on that cruise for some reason to get any pictures at all.
Oh. Everybody was after them, I guess. It's interesting that you say that because in St. Martin, and this is for anybody that is out there, because I've been to St. Martin, of course, on the cruise as well. But I just kind of went to the beach. I took the shuttle and went to the beach. But guys, there is a place called That Yoda Guy. And it's a museum, and you will meet the special effects artist that worked on Yoda. His name is Nick Maley, and he is a really interesting person, very inspiring person. And the reason why it's called That Yoda Guy is because it had a different name, like some kind of a different name. It was in an art gallery or whatever. And everybody that had sort of heard about him would go around the street and say, "Oh, do you know who that Yoda guy is, or where that Yoda guy, resides?" And so that's how come he changed it. But they don't tell you about that on the cruise ship. So anybody out there, just make sure if you're going to St. Martin, check him out, because he's got a really cool museum. And I know a few people that have gone, and I mean, I didn't even know about it, but next time I go to St. Martin, I'm checking him out. And he's just a really, really nice human being as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be great to go and see.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my gosh, I wish I would have known that. We just did we did a tour in St. Martin, and we did a bus tour up to the beach in Portola.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I know that's what everybody does, kind of, they do this sort of the general. I know David on here, he said that he has plans for the Disney cruise with the Star Wars Day at Sea next year. But David, I'm not too sure if your itinerary includes St. Martin. I'm not too sure. And I'm not too sure how much time with a Star Wars Day at Sea, if it's a 3-night or 4-night or 7-night, maybe David can answer that, or Stan, something like that. But no, it's really wonderful, Darlene. And there's so many people that, Star Wars addresses everyone, and it's very interesting. I mean, I actually forgot to bring up here. I think we have I don't know how many my son, how many lightsabers do we have in our family room? I don't know. We have a lot, because, every time you went to Disney and you left, Star Tours, you'd always grab a lightsaber or something, and some really, really cool ones. And of course, the light up ones, or the ones they flick, would be like the coolest ones, before they had the light up ones, because those were a pretty penny, and when you've got 3 kids, it kind of adds up. Yeah. Anyways, Darlene, thank you so much for phoning in. It was really lovely to hear your voice. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. Well, give those pooches a little hug. And for anybody watching, Darlene has some little dachshunds as well. And I don't even know their name. I just have to ask quickly, what are their names?
It's Chip and Cogsworth.
Oh, Chip and Cogsworth, of course. Love it. Thanks, Darlene.
Have a wonderful night.
I will. You too. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye. I just want to welcome Melissa to the show, and John Harrison Little to the show. David said it's a 7-night, and I wonder if St. Martin is one of them. Okay, I'm going to my next call. Hello, welcome to the show.
Howdy doody.
John, thank you so much for calling in. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm really excited. And I have to tell people why I'm so excited to hear from you too, because guys, this guy met Warwick Davis, and he had a photo that he mentioned, and I really wanted him to call in and tell us about that. Where were you? When did that happen? And tell me what happened.
It was about, I think, 3 or 4 years ago, something like that, the Star Wars weekend at the studios here in Florida, and Warwick was one of the actors that you could, get your fast pass to go meet. So a friend of mine from New Jersey and myself, he got the fast passes for us, and we went over and waited in line. And we finally got to get up at the table there with Warwick, and we were talking, and then we shook hands and everything. And so then I said, I brought you something for your family, and I gave him the cardboard that I drew some sketches in, and then he opened them up, and he just was like amazed. His chin just hit the ground, because I had drawn his wife, a character, and I drew his his daughter and his son, some pictures as well, and he was just taken by that I shared my art with him.
That is so nice. It was, I don't think he probably, I would suspect that most of the actors don't receive things from the fans. They're always giving, they're signing things, right? And they're always giving so much of themselves and their time. And when they have a fan to give them something back, I think it really is quite special for them, actually.
Yeah, I sat there. I watched, several people ahead of us, and no one gave him anything.
Yeah.
They wanted his autograph, they wanted his picture, and
Right.
he's so gracious that way. And I didn't even ask him for an autograph and picture, and he already signed me one. And if you look at some of my photos on my Facebook, you can see it sitting there to the side. But
Okay.
he was just so gracious, and he just kept saying, "Isn't it lovely?"
Oh.
He said, "Lovely," he said.
English accent.
Lovely.
Oh my gosh, that must have been so special. As I said, I haven't met any of the actors yet. I say yet because I plan on it in the next little while. And I'll tell you something, John. I don't know when you joined in on the show, but I will tell the audience here too that the response for the Star Wars edition of the Positive Disney book has been so incredible that there will be a second Star Wars book. I'm not too sure if it'll be the end of 2020 or in 2021. That sounds weird to say those numbers as years, right? Gosh,
yeah,
very bizarre. But there will be another one because I absolutely adore every single person that I have had the chance to interview and chat with, or even just like I had to go through the drive-through, grab a coffee, and now I don't know if you can see this, John, you might see it on the playback, but I had my R2D2 purse sitting in my seat, and the person giving me my coffee right away was, "Oh, I love your purse," and it was so fun because I had to decide between an R2D2 or BB-8 purse when I was in Walt Disney World a few years ago. And I had to do the R2D2 because don't get me wrong, I love everything about Star Wars, but I had to kind of get that first, that I was a little bit nostalgic about it. And it was, so yeah. It was it was really fun. Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. A little bit of delay there.
Yeah, go ahead.
BB-8, they had, when we were there, they had the BB-8 popcorn buckets out there a few years ago.
Oh, nice. I hear about these popcorn buckets. I even tried to get the one from Mary Poppins Returns, and none of the theaters that I went to knew about it. So I'm thinking they must not have got up to Seattle. I'm not too sure. But, I just, as I said, the R2D2 purse, I love that. And I have to tell you something funny, John, is that when I was out and about with it, so many men commented and complimented my purse more than women. It was so funny. It was like all these men just love my purse. It was quite hilarious. Yeah. But anyways, John, thank you so much for calling in and sharing that with us. I think you have had some really, really interesting experiences, and I'm sure that is up on one of your top ones, but
yes,
yeah.
It is. I wish they would come back because it was after I went there, then they discontinued the Star Wars, weekend, and I think they need to bring it back. Maybe once they get the new, area built there in studios, maybe we'll see it again.
Oh, I can't. I would be hard pressed to think that they wouldn't do it for sure. Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes with it, but maybe it's kind of just they didn't want to continue it until the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge and at Walt Disney World opened. That's probably, I wouldn't be surprised. That's probably their idea. Anyways, John, have a great night. Thank you for calling in and sharing with us.
You're welcome, Kimberly.
All right.
Oh, thank you.
You take care. Bye-bye. So something that Star Wars weekend, they are talking also about Galactic Nights. I think, Stan, you went to Galactic Nights, and I think Justin was saying that he marched in Galactic Nights in probably as whatever it is that you are in your 501st. I'm not too sure which character you are in the 501st, but I think that would have been super, super cool to march in that for sure. And Stan was saying that he had a BB-8 one as a sipper cup. Oh my gosh, love it. Michelle McKeown has a Chewbacca popcorn bucket. I'm really going to have to think about where I'm going to get all these buckets. David says, Stan, you're right, at the AT-AT was the popcorn bucket. Now I have to ask you guys, is it at or AT-AT? Okay, I'm going to take the next call. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi, it's Tisha. Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Tisha. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I thought since you brought it up, I could talk a little bit about Mark Hamill.
Yes,
I don't
please.
know if that was okay though, because
yeah. Well, you know what? Just you can talk a little bit about him because you met him, and I don't know if there are any listeners, any of the audience that can actually say that they met Mark Hamill. So go ahead and share with us how you met him and what happened. So go ahead. That's fine. Just a little bit.
I can mention what happened?
Yes, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Okay, just a little bit. I won't give away the big thing.
Okay, yes.
Okay. Well, my con is a pretty big con. It's I talked about it on here before, where we're like the third biggest con in the country, and so they invited Mark Hamill out, and we had this whole basketball arena. I mean, like, if you guys know the Utah Jazz, you know how big the arena is because it's a pretty big stadium for basketball. And the place was almost entirely packed with Star Wars fans.
Wow.
And so Mark Hamill comes out, and he literally has to cover his ears because of all the cheering and the screaming and all that. And he was just it was before the second movie came out, so he couldn't really talk. It was like a couple months before the second movie came out.
Okay.
I mean, the Last Jedi second movie, obviously. And he was talking a little bit about it. He did his Harrison Ford impression, the one where he's talking about how he had learned about Darth Vader and everything, and if they were showing it on the screen, he's like, "Hey, kid, you didn't tell me about that." So he did that impression. I'm not as good at it, but and my brother is a huge Mark Hamill fan. We grew up with Batman. We grew up with the Star Wars movies,
Yeah.
And so he keeps yelling out, and the guy that was doing the questions wasn't paying attention. So he finally just screams, "Hey, why are you so serious?" So he just turns around, does this big grin like the Joker, and goes, "Why are you so serious?" in the Joker voice that he does. Because he's not only, Luke Skywalker, but he's also the Joker in Batman the Animated Series in the game.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's one thing, because I just watched the series, the first 6 again. And something that I really have to say is that I've got a few favorite scenes, but one of my favorite scenes is from Star Wars: A New Hope, which was only Star Wars to me at the time. That was the only movie out, when he is on Tatooine and the 2 moons are there. I love that scene. There is, I want to cry. I don't know what it is about it. It's kind of like this loneliness, this longing for something out there. I don't know what it is about that. The colors are fantastic. Oh my gosh. But I absolutely love that scene. And for anybody listening, so Tisha has her stories in the book, but she actually got very up close and personal with Mark Hamill. And I am not going to say anything more because I am not going to ruin that part of it. It's so cute and so awesome. And I don't think too many people can say they were that close to Mark Hamill, to be honest with you. But Tisha, thank you so much for calling in. I'm just excited for you, and your con is coming up in April, I think, right? Is it April?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Easter weekend. It's
Yes.
Easter weekend.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I wish I was there. Next year I'll be there for sure.
Next year, definitely.
Yeah. And I might come in September. If anybody lives around Utah, they actually have two there. It's called Fan X, I believe, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to change the name.
Yeah. So, but I really look forward. I mean, I've been to Utah, Salt Lake City and that, but I haven't been to the con there. I'm just going to start visiting that whole realm of communities. So I'm really excited about it. And I can say hello to you. So that's kind of fun too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I'll probably dress like a Disney princess.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You dress whatever you want. Anyways, Tisha, thank you so much for calling in and have a good evening. We'll be in touch, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Can't wait for the book.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.
Justin, Mark is a really good Joker voice, isn't he? And Stan, that's called the binary sunset scene. Thank you for telling me that correct terminology. But I know that I just wanted to ask something of you guys. So do you guys say like ATAT or do you say at? So I'm just kind of wondering if you call the walker, some people call it the walker, how you guys pronounce its name, because I actually just got I got a vehicle recently, and my husband got a sticker with a little girl holding a leash that is attached to it. Looks like a baby at or ATAT. Oh, it's at. Okay, everybody's telling me it's at. Okay, yay. That's what I was thinking, and I thought I didn't want to make a mistake. So thank you for informing me about that. You know, I want to have some more shows about Star Wars, because I mean, it's so close to my heart yet. I've got a lot of things to chat about, you know, and some of the things I want to chat to you guys about is actually the droids, which is actually a Lucasfilm trademark name, is droid. And we have robots and how they compare, like in real life. It's absolutely unbelievable. And I was also thinking about having a show just like talking about the movies. And I don't know, but when I was younger, they had these books and you could read them. And a couple of places in the books, it would say, if you want such and such to happen, go to page whatever. If you want such and such to happen, go to page B or continue, you know? And I was thinking about that while I was watching the movies. And I thought to myself, what if Padme had not died? What if Darth Vader had saved Luke sooner? Like, I had started thinking about all these sort of alternate universes of Star Wars. Like, wouldn't that be interesting? So I want to talk to you guys about that in another show, just not too long from now. But I want to get your feedback. Like, what if, you know, what if there was another way of looking at something, and something that, Justin, yes, choose your adventure, tell your own adventure, choose your own adventure books. And I was just thinking, like, what if they had that in like a Star Wars book or movie or whatever? But I will tell you something that I've learned. And again, like, I feel like a little bit of a newbie, because you guys have been sort of really enmeshed in Star Wars for so long. And I was for a while, and then, you know, I always knew it was there and that, but I've really become really enmeshed again. But something that I found interesting is that when Han Solo was being frozen in the carbonite, there was a reason why Harrison Ford was put in that format. He wasn't sure if he wanted to do any more of the movies. And so the writers had to come up with a plan to sort of pause his character, for lack of a better word, so that he could figure out what he wanted to do. So basically, they had an out either way. If he decided to go on to make some more movies, he would be thawed and rescued and so on and so forth. But if Harrison Ford had decided not to become to be a part of any of the more of the movies, they would have killed him off. And I'm thinking, that's another alternate universe, alternate story change that would have been very interesting and sad to me too, because I really like Harrison Ford as an actor in there. But anyway, Stan Solo said if it wasn't for R2, then the Death Star and the Empire wouldn't have won. Yeah, exactly. Like it's just a really, really fascinating concept about all of these possibilities. So I think I'm going to have one show just completely on the droids and the robots and how that technology has carried over into like real life, and then another one just talking about the movies, because I have a different perspective on it, I think, than a lot of people, because I am re-examining it and I am interviewing the folks that have it so close to their hearts and have been a part of the movies, and it's just I'm going on that journey right along with everybody. So anyways, I just want to thank you guys. I'm going to start closing down tonight, but thank you so much for joining me. And I'm really glad that I could pull off this show, because it's been very, very cold in here. But I actually forgot to share one other thing with you. So this was, well, many, many, many years ago. And my husband Jacques and we decided to do that photo booth just outside of Star Tours. We just had to. And I'm so glad that we did, because what we ended up doing, I'm trying to think how long ago that was, maybe about 5 years ago or so, less than that, maybe a bit longer. I'm not too sure. We decided to do one with for the kids. And this is what it turned out. And I thought, you know what? They actually kind of look pretty much part of that group. I think that the Han Solo look and the Luke Skywalker look and the and Carrie Fisher's Princess Leia look kind of looks all right on those guys. So we actually have that on our wall. Believe it or not, everybody has their wall of their family photos and that. And those two are right beside each other on our wall of family photos. So I'm so glad that we did that. And I think it's time maybe to get another one. So next time we come off Star Tours, I think, I can't remember. They've got him in a few places in the parks. But at any rate, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Again, have a wonderful week. Stay safe and stay warm. I know I will be in a different outfit next week. It won't be with my parka, that's for sure. Anyways, good night. Take care. Bye for now. May the force be with y'all.